Good morning, my friends. Welcome to our New Testament challenge. Today I'm going to be sharing some thoughts from the 8th chapter of the Gospel of John. This first section of the Gospel is really, of this chapter is really where I'm going to focus today. A lot of this chapter in John, he spends in conversation, in argument, whatever you want to call it, deep discussion with the Pharisees and scribes about his authority, about where he came from, and Jesus is responding about who is his disciple, who does he represent, and the connection he has with God. So we see this throughout the Gospel of John, that Jesus has this authority. We're being reminded of the authority, reminded of the relationship of who Jesus is in relation to God throughout this. And so I think that's one of the things that John really wants us to understand, that all of this, some of it may be difficult to understand, but because Jesus is the Son of God, because he came from heaven, we know we can trust it. So that's the big focus here. So the first section here, first part of chapter 8, he's at the temple. Jesus is at the temple, and some of the Pharisees and scribes drag a woman into the temple and say, hey, teacher, this woman has been caught in adultery. Before I go any further, usually when adultery happens, there are two parties to the act. And so we don't know, why didn't they bring the man? We don't know. We just know that they dragged the woman. We don't know what it means for her to be caught in the act. We have some ideas, and we wonder, was she dragged naked? What? We don't know. We don't know. Was she dragged out of bed? How did they discover it? There's a lot of questions we don't have the answer to that are just that people want to know. So we just wondered what's going on here, and so they said, the Pharisees and scribes says, the law of Moses says that we should stone her for being caught for the act of adultery. What do you say? Because they wanted, they had this sense that Jesus was going to be kind and compassionate to this woman. All right, and so they said, okay, if he says differently, then we've got him. He is teaching against the law of Moses. But Jesus looked at it, and he kind of played in the sand. And you could tell he was kind of thinking through this. How can he get his word across? And again, just his pausing, I think his dramatic pause, he is in control. And he says one of the most profound statements, powerful statements found in the Gospels. Let any one of you who is without sin cast the stone. And you could tell they were thinking about that. And as they thought about it slowly, ever so slowly, each one of them dropped their rock, their stone, and left, until it was just Jesus and the woman. And Jesus talked to her and says, woman, where are those that condemn you? And she says, no one, Lord. He says, neither do I condemn you. Now, this is important. Again, you've heard me say this before. There's a difference between judgment and condemnation. We oftentimes put the two together. But here, condemnation is in a sense, paying for your sin. Judgment is determining whether it's a sin. Condemnation is paying for it, is the result, the consequences. And so Jesus says, I do not condemn you. All right? I do not make you pay for what you've done. Go now. And here's the judgment part. And all the grace is mixed with this. Go and sin no more. He's recognizing that what she did was sin, and that she had made the choice to sin. That's what it sounds like. Now, again, at that time, there's a whole lot of power differential, and she may not have had, anyway, we're all sinners. And so Jesus judged the sin, but then he says, go choose to not do it again. Go and sin no more. And so what could have been her death, what should have been her death, instead became an opportunity for her to turn her life around. And that, my friends, is good news. That's what God offers us. That's what grace is all about. When we sin, Jesus judges us rightly. We are rightly judged. Like the criminal on the side of Jesus said, hey, we're here because we did what we're being crucified for. This man is innocent. We're judged, but we're not condemned because he takes that condemnation upon himself. So be thankful for grace. Be thankful that Jesus is the one who judges us. And he is also the one that pays for it. Hopefully this is helpful for you, my friends. Thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.